That puppy is the size of a full-grown dog.
Dude, she's
It's
going to be
humongous.
ginormous. I'm talking like she's going to be
So
ginormous.
stout.
She's like a toddler. When you try to hold her, she's like carrying like a baby.
My gosh. My puppies are little, at least. It's just they're two of them, and they're still crazy.
Cool. Well, welcome back to the Now podcast, Making Moves in Real Estate, episode 33, which, by the way, is my favorite number. Today, we're excited to have Hao Dang, the leader of a Powerhouse team of 18 real estate professionals serving the Pacific Northwest with over 20 years of experience, a background in marketing, and a reputation for strong negotiation and market expertise. Hao has built a team that consistently delivers exceptional results for buyers and sellers alike. His hands-on approach, combined with proven systems, which we like some systems over here, ensures clients are always capable or are in capable hands every step of the way. Beyond real estate, Hao is passionate about personal growth, family, and exploring Seattle and beyond. So let's dive into his journey and team building secrets. Welcome, Hao.
Welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Well, we're really glad we were able to get you on our podcast today. And so we'd love to just hear a little bit more about your journey, how you got into real estate and your team and business up there in Washington.
Perfect. So I got started back in 2002. Prior to real estate, I was a software developer. And the reason why I got into real estate is actually to buy a home for my mom, actually. So that was back in 2002. Probably not the best time to start after 9/11. Obviously, we know what happened then. The market collapsed and get into real estate. And we're like, are you sure you want to get into that career? I was like, absolutely. To buy a home for my mom, no doubt. So sold 42 homes my first year in real estate in 2002. So I thought I did okay.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? This is actually a pretty fun career. So I started. That's how I started.
42 homes in a tough market your first year. What were you doing? What was working for you?
Funny enough, everyone's like, hey, you should do a bunch of different open houses. And honestly, the reason I was like, so what is the purpose of an open house? So the reason why people do open houses is meet new people, right? And so for myself, I was super active in tennis. I played like 2, 3, 4 tennis matches a week. I was down at Green Lake running around the lake. I was going to a lot of weddings and barbecues. I played on a basketball team that had a bunch of doctors and pharmacists on there. And so for me, it was all about networking. And one of my mentors said, hey, the bigger your network, the bigger your net worth. And so I would ask 3 questions deep. And so I would say, hey, Michelle, how's it going? Good. Hey, by the way, who else do you play tennis with? I play tennis with Courtney, and I play tennis with Sarah, and I play tennis with blah. I was like, hey, we should get together and all play tennis together like this next week. So I would taproot, meet your friends and so forth. And as you know it, here I know, I just know the 2 of you now, and now I know probably like 30 other people now just around your circle. And so I never really talked about real estate. I just talked about life, where they live, where they work, and real estate always just came up. So that's how I kind of got started. One of the other things that my mentor told me too is write a list of all the people you know in your phone, your email, and so forth. And I did that. He says, now I want you to do one other thing for me. I want you to write all the people that rent. So I put R by them, and all the people that own homes, put an O by them. All the people that own, you're going to go out and you're going to do a market analysis for them. You're going to practice on your friends and family rather than your clients. I was like, okay, I could do that. He's like, tell them that you're working on a project. You need to do 5 this month. It could be 10, 15, but you just got to do 5. And all the people that are renting, find out how much they're paying in rent, and if they have any type of down payment that they could put toward a home, and try to get them into a home. And that's all I did. So I went out and did a market analysis for one of my pharmacists and one of my attorney. And they're like, hey, what do you think my home is worth? I go, about $350. He's like, I bought the place for like $90. How much money would I make? About 200 something thousand. He's like, I'm actually looking at buying a place a little bit bigger, like 3,000 square feet in such and such area. I go, how much is something like that? It's just about 700. do the math together, it's about $1 million combined, right? So I kept on doing more and
Right.
more of those. Next thing you know, 42 homes later in that first year. So it was really
That is
fun.
so
It was just a lot of fun just doing it without really any effort.
Yeah, that's like my kind of model there with all the networking. We go to like, we're small towns. There's lots of fundraisers and with my kids and different things of getting involved. So I love that.
So is this like step 1 and 2 with your new agents that you bring on your team of like what to do?
That and also like doing 12 open houses within the first month. So I would suggest doing whether you do flash opens. Do you guys know what flash opens are? So let's say,
No,
for
we don't
example,
have a
like,
lot of house there.
you know,
Sorry.
yeah. So we love open houses on our end. That's how I also built my own business as well, is doing a lot of flash opens. So let's say, for example, you take any city, you take the north part of it and the south part. So the north part I would do like 11 to 1, and then the south part do 11 to 1 and then 2 to 4. And then I would flip flop it and do 11 to 1, 2 to 4. I'd put my A board or my sandwich board on the actual listing. So it looks like it's my listing. So in one weekend, I'm doing 4 open houses. And so in 1 month, it looks like I kind of control the area because I've done 16 open houses now. Make sense?
So you're asking other agents to go do open houses for them, and you're putting your sandwich board so people are seeing your signs all over.
That's right. Yep. And I would put out about 12 different signs. So, as neighbors are walking around or driving around, all they see is just my sign. The other thing I started doing too is actually working from the home during a weekday and doing open houses, because that's basically your storefront. Instead of coming into the office, I would actually do it at the house. The other thing I would do is the 10, 10, 10, 10. So knock on 10 doors in front of you, 10 doors in the back and on the sides, and try to find out if there's any other people that are looking to sell. Once that home goes under contract, the other neighbors are going to say, wow, Hal just sold another home in my neighborhood, and he's doing another home that he's doing an open house for. So you start trickling around. It's like, wow, this guy's pretty active, even though a lot of those listings are not mine. It might have made it look like it was mine.
That's so great. Well, especially so I have, grew an independent brokerage myself and had a few locations, and we ended up merging with EXP. So a lot of EXP agents don't have offices. They work from home. So I like your tip about, hey, go set up shop in the listing and work from there and have an open house. I feel like that could be very beneficial to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So Courtney, so open houses are pretty hard to come by on the weekends, would you say, sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about offering, say, hey, what if I could do an open house for you either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Now, do you think anyone's going to object to that? Probably most likely not, right? So if a brand new listing comes out on a Thursday, Friday, the listing agent wants to do the open house, go ahead and do it. It's yours. I get it. But the thing is, are you going to do it during the weekdays as well? The answer is probably not. So I'll do it for you. And so you're going to get those people that drive around during lunchtime or some of the neighbors and so forth. It's a great opportunity to meet new people.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. The only reason we don't do a lot of them in our area is we're rural. So a lot of the houses are very, very spread out, have necessarily a lot of subdivisions or neighborhoods. But in the Fresno market, which is, that's definitely a big thing with open houses.
So you went from 42 deals the first year and then decided to scale your business and build the team?
Correct. Yeah. So fast forward to 2013, after all the short sales from 2009 to 2012, someone approached me from Zillow and said, hey, we have this great opportunity to buy or invest in Kirkland. And I was like, okay, so how much is it? At the time, it was what they were asking for lead gen was about 25% of what my mortgage was. So it's a big number. I was like, and I've never really heard of the company Zillow. And so I asked around, I was like, hey, what do you guys think about this company? They're like, don't do it. I've already done it. I was like, you know what? I took a faith and I just did it. I converted my first lead for $900,000, reinvested that money and bought a couple of these zip codes. So I've been doing Zillow for about 11 years now.
Wow.
Fast forward to 2015. You guys know what sciatica is? So sciatica is like pain down your leg. What I was doing is I delivered about 150 pumpkin pies during Thanksgiving, And I got sciatica shortly right after that. Just getting in and out of the car just did not do well for my back. I was bed rest for about 3 months, and I hired a transaction coordinator in bed and 2 showing agents to go out and show for me. So the one thing is you could stop me physically, but you couldn't stop me mentally. So I just went out and just did what I did and never looked back. So I realized that you can actually build a team being in bed.
Wow. I can relate to that from being on bed rest, being pregnant.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Right? You gotta learn how to
Right?
gotta learn how to leverage and delegate.
Right. Wow. Okay. So you started with getting some help with the buyers. Now you have 18 people. What's the structure look like for you?
So I started poking holes in the business. Like it's like, filling up a sandwich bag and poking holes to it. And so I was like realizing where we were spending our time and what was not the highest use of our time. So I hired a transaction coordinator to manage all the emails, started writing up all the offers, starting the listing paperwork, having someone else to go over the listing paperwork, the owner, scheduling the inspection, the signs, the flyers, all that good stuff, right? The inspectors, the stages, and so forth. So, just to try to get more of your time back and then just really just be more client facing is, so we have a transaction coordinator. I have 2 ISAs that actually circle prospects. So if an agent on a team is looking for, let's give it a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet in a particular area, they can't find what's on there on the MLS, they will actually circle prospect other homeowners in the area, and we'll try to do something off market. We also have 2 social media persons. So one does like the Instagram and Facebook, and I just hired someone else that's going to do a lot of our video and so forth. So then we have a production manager, actually 2 production managers. So agents go to them first for any questions. One has 18 years of experience. The other one has about 10 to 11 years of experience. Before, like, I can't obviously take all the calls myself, so they go out to them. And then, yep. So, and then all the other agents are either showing agents or they do partial listings.
That's
Got it dialed in.
incredible that you've been able to build that, because that's not easy. Is it mostly like people coming to you? Because like even just the production managers, like to find people to do that is difficult. So what's the secret sauce?
So the other thing too, we're all about accelerated learning. So we use Slack. So if someone posts a question and they answer, obviously we give the answer. Instead of giving it to one agent, we put it in Slack so everyone learns from that particular day. So that's the one thing that we've been more or less focused on, or we bring it up in the team meetings so everyone learns. So, yeah.
Guys meet like a weekly team meeting?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's every Tuesday at 10. So we believe in 3 C's. So collaboration, continued learning, and so yeah.
Nice.
And culture. That's the other one. Culture.
Oh yeah, that'd be important.
Yeah, that's important. Probably the number one.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna have?
Well, I was just curious with is it mostly luxury? What tells a little bit about your area and the market that you serve?
So our average price is probably about 1.3 to 1.4. We cover mostly the east side, but we do cover the Seattle side as well. Our buyer profile is probably mostly just tech or business owners. And so I would say probably, if I could say, 60 to probably 70% are people that have families. So they're all wanting better schools, really close to commute. They want to be pretty close to work and so forth. Buying a home is not just buying a home. It's about buying a lifestyle. So they're always into like tennis and swimming and all these other things. You just got to find out what their kids are.
Right.
So you're the broker owner of this entire team, correct?
Correct.
And so what is most of your time, as the broker owner, you have two managers, it sounds like. So what does most of your time and your day look like?
Honestly, it's just try to create more opportunities for the agents on the team, whether it be through open houses, different lead sources, providing them really good programs through different lenders so that we can get the buyers streamlined so they can get pre-approved and we can close fairly quickly. Try to give them more listing opportunities so they're always constantly learning. So they're learning the buy side is great, but learning on the list side is even more important because we all know like if you get more listings, you last in the business. So if they can list, then they can do the open house and generate leads on their own through open houses.
Hmm. So how much business are you doing now in this current market?
So we'll do 200 million this year. Yeah. So,
Wow, oh my goodness, with 18.
well, I would say,
Well, it's
obviously,
excellent.
of the 18, just like any brokerage or any team, like, you do have some that, perform a little bit higher than others. But I think that's what you see with all teams and all brokerages, right? So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
All
200,
sales.
yeah, 200, I think 200 is a good number. We're going to strive to try to hit about 350 next year and just keep moving onwards and upwards. So,
Wow. Are you looking to try to increase your agent count to do that or just your volume and
So
yeah, in the
try
market
to get
share?
to around like 25 agents or so, with each agent doing about 1 to 2 transactions. So we could probably get up to about 35 or 40 on the buy side. We're averaging about 3 to 5 listings a week right now. So if we get to about 15 listings a month, about 180, say roughly 200. And so we could probably get up to upwards of around like 500 or 600 transactions. That should take us around like, with the average price of about 1.3, around like half a billion in production. So.
Wow. How's your team been doing with changes? I understand that Washington was using buyer broker agreements already. I don't know if I have if that's accurate or not.
Correct. Yeah. So we've been doing buyer brokers for the last year and a half now. And so I would say no difference has really changed. There is a lot of data that shows that some homes where the seller's not offering any commission, we treat those like for sale by owners. They just don't really get shown. The average days on market, I believe it's about 82 days. Those owners that do offer a commission, they're selling at or above, and they're selling about 2 to 3% if priced appropriately. So, yeah, I would say business as usual. There's really no change on our end. We don't expect the buyers to pay our fee. We'll just show you properties where the seller's compensating us. If for whatever reason the seller does not pay us, then we'll just negotiate in the contract.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest hurdle right now up in that market as a broker?
I would say competing with yourself. I think that when you compete with yourself, it's like how good can you be in this market? Are you dealing with agents, or sorry, are you dealing with consumers that want a commission back? Are you dealing with consumers where they want to pause until rates get a little bit lower? So you got to be really good with objections. So someone says, "Hey, I'm looking for rates to drop." I go, "So is everyone else." Those that are in 2 and 3% interest rates, if the rates do drop, you're going to get an influx of probably 2 or 3 times the number of buyers. Wouldn't it make more sense to buy in this market and refinance later? So that's an objection of someone who is concerned about high rates or prices dropping. So I was like, well, I'm certain that prices might drop. Well, let's go looking for homes where they've been on the market for 30 or 40 days. And instead of waiting for the price to drop, why don't you just offer a lesser price? So in this case, like we just put one that was listed for $1 million. We offered 900. We ended up getting in contract for 925, right? So instead of waiting for price to drop, just offer less right now. Some of the other objections are, I just signed a lease agreement and I'm not ready to buy until like next July. Well, you realize there's programs out there where we can break the lease for you. By the way, Courtney and Michelle, are you in a rental agreement with an apartment complex, or are you in a rental agreement with a private owner? I'm in an apartment complex. Well, you realize those lease agreements, you can break them within 2 months. So what we can do is we can not only negotiate the price, we can negotiate closing costs. We can also negotiate that the seller pay your rent. What are you paying in rent? I'm paying $3,000 a month. Well, let's get the seller to break that lease for you and credit you $6,000 at closing, and or pay the property management company at closing. It'll be stated on your settlement statement.
Good.
That's great.
You must do some role playing with your people.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I would love to role play with you all day long on objective handling.
I love this stuff. So yeah, we just
Yeah,
had someone else like, you know what? I'm a little concerned that rates are high. I go, what do you want rates to be? He's like, I want rates to be like the fours. I go, well, have you heard of a 2-1 buy down? Obviously we talk about that, and you guys know what that is. Without going too much more detail, is go find a home that's been on the market for 45, 50 days. Instead of reducing the price by so much, just do a 2-1 buy down. Rates at the time were like 6.75. We got them down to 4.75. Just to please them.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure, with the rates coming down, prices are possibly coming up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not too long. I We had our lender on because I own a lending company as well, and he was on our podcast last week, and he was anticipating us getting back down into the fours on some of the loan products, hopefully this next year, which will be interesting to get back to that that point again. But it might get a little bit crazy for everybody.
I agree. Yeah. Start running around again like
Yeah.
normal, right? I remember when the market picked up so much and the prices were going up so high, is
Mhm.
driving around with some of the agents, we'd literally be going from like home number A or home number one to home number two, and it was like, hey, PP is purchase price, EM is earnest money. Like we would write it down or call it out, and she would write it up, have it sent out to the client. By the time we got to the second or third home, that offer was already being sent to the first home that we just saw. It was that fast. And then one of the other things we started doing too is if the house was $1 million, we escalated to 125. Obviously, price is subjective to whatever the person thinks is worth. And so we would have them get pre-approved with two different lenders to make sure they were fully underwritten, just so we wouldn't lose our earnest money. And then we would actually order two different appraisals. One would come in at 125, the other one would come in at 11. So if the one came in low, we would go with the second one. Why? So the person wouldn't have to come in with 20% on the 1-1, come in with the other $150,000 out of pocket. So that's why we ordered the second appraisal. Make sense? So I was coming up with all this wild stuff, and I was like, what are you doing over there? Why are you closing so many deals? And how is the buyer not being subjected to bring extra money in, pull money out of the stock market and paying tax on that? That's how we did it. We ordered two appraisals. We take the higher of the two. I think we might get back. We might get back in that market again. So that was a great tool for all of us to use.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of goes hand in hand when in the beginning we're talking about you having systems. What other systems do you have in place that you think would help your agents as it gets into that kind of crazy wild market again?
So we use FUB. We use Follow Up Boss, and so the agents, when the leads come in, we track by like how many leads they have, and from there we put everyone in showing homes. So those are the ones that they're super active that they can put in contract with the next 30 to 60 days. So their goal is to work on those, set up proper searches, and understand all the different objections. And then as far as the other leads, like if they're in nurture status, maybe they're not looking to purchase like 3 to 6 months out, they understand where the flow process is. They can create tasks and so forth. And obviously we have a pool of buyers that were buyers from 2013 to 2019. Well, if I were to ask you, Courtney and Michelle, what are those buyers today? Those buyers are sellers, right?
Yeah.
And so why not reach out to some of those people and ask them like, hey, just wanted to reach out and see how you're enjoying your home. Just wanted to see if you need any contractors, if you're looking to do any renovations. Now that we're going into the fall, when's the last time you got your furnace service? So we do partner up with different people. So we have a big vendor list. So anything that they need, we kind of help them with. And then the last thing is, when's the last time you got a home evaluation on your house? We haven't, right? And so getting a home evaluation on their home tells them where they're at, how much equity they can pull out, and then potentially try to get them to another home and keep their home either as an investment and or sell it and take advantage of the $500,000, the tax exemption. So the thing is, like, if they bought the house for $600,000 and now their home is worth 1.5, they have $900,000 in locked in equity. They can literally go out and buy a home for $2 million and get a much bigger home, transfer the equity into the new home. Same difference, right? Even with the higher rate, it's not much of a difference because you're unlocking the equity that's in their home.
Makes sense. Wow, you are just chock full of gold nuggets, as we call them. I think
I've taken a big old list. I have a really random question. I have to say your presence on LinkedIn, I'm not sure who does that for you, but it's strong. Do you get much lead gen from that source?
Probably should be using it a little bit more. We have not. I don't know. I think most people just find me online. I'm not sure how. So, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because every time I'm on LinkedIn, there you are. Or like one of your agents, listings or open houses or just sold. It's like every day I see her on I see it. So whoever's doing that, it's good job.
I will let Annie know for sure. Yeah. So she's your social media person.
Yeah. I mean, all of your social media is great. I just am pretty impressed with the LinkedIn because I know that's something that we've heard can be a great lead source, and I just haven't actually spoke to somebody that has actually done it.
Yeah.
I think anything that you put effort into, it's going to work. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be great at open houses, LinkedIn. I think I just met this lady yesterday. She gets 70% of her business from YouTube.
I can see
I've
that.
heard that.
Yep.
Yep.
Whatever works, as long as you work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, work. I mean, some people think that they're working and they're not.
It is busy.
They're just busy. So, anyways, well, we've really enjoyed all of the nuggets. I mean, I think the biggest thing, bigger your network, the bigger your net worth. Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, Hal, we really appreciate you coming on here and joining us. I think definitely our listeners are going to get a ton of value from this episode. Where would be the best place for people to find you?
Just find us online, and you can always reach out to our team, and happy to help in any way we can. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Hao.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks.